Hello and welcome to Opinions Plus. Um, the topic today is why vote and also why not vote. You know, there's point, counterpoint all the time in this internet world. You can't just talk about one thing because, there's always a flip side. But it'll be a fairly short video. The point that I want to make is primarily why vote. You need to vote. It's your voice. It's your not only your civic duty, if you're a person of um, age, in order to vote according to the laws and regulations of where you live, but it's important to voice your concerns, to voice your, even though it's one vote, one effort, uh, part of millions. Well, that's what builds everything is one part of a million other things creates something. What that creation is, we may not have much control over that, but we have an influence on it. And voting is a part of that influence. It's just, not only is it a governmental thing, because you're voting for legislatures and judges and whoever else. It's not just presidents that you vote for. There's a whole bunch of people. And you don't know any of these people, or most people don't know any of these people. When you're voting, you vote, along party lines. Is that the best way to do it? No, of course not. You should know the person a little bit. You should know whether the person has some character or some abilities or some experience or something, but we don't. We don't know much. You get a flyer in the mailbox, and that's the way it is. And you're going to believe that? Well, I wouldn't. But and it ends up becoming a party line vote for many people. But there are people that know the candidates and support the candidate and want that candidate to do something for them, for their community, or however it works out. But it's not as important. It's participating. Your act of participating in the government, in the vote, in your duty, supporting that duty, goes a long way to making it a more viable government. Regardless if you just write in Mickey Mouse, you can do that if you wanted for president or whoever. You can do any of these things. You can just, but the action of voting is important. The action of just taking the time to go down, or mail it in if that's available to you. But take that action. It's only going to benefit the government. I shouldn't say benefit the government. It's going to benefit the society in general if you participate. I advocate participation. You don't need to know everything about who's running or what the referendum is, because they only give you a paragraph anyway, and you don't know what the heck's going on. 90% of the time you don't know. But we can know more if we all get together and use that power and show these people who do become elected officials that there is an effort, there is an awareness of the value of the vote. It just becomes self-generating. An awareness becomes more deep and concerning. And I believe that people of character will come out of it. Yeah, no, it's not a simple little thing. It's not an evolutionary process. But it takes time. And in this world here, because there's so much apathy, there's been so much apathy over the past years. But there's more concerns, whether or not because of the repeal of Roe versus Wade, for example. That generated a lot of concerns on the Republican conservative side, whatever you want to call it. Women saw egregiousness to what is being done. I'm not speaking to the moral issue. You can believe abortion is wrong, but if you don't vote, if you don't speak your mind, because you're not just voting for abortion, you're voting for the person who is going to vote for the legislation, the judge that's going to decide these things. That's who you're voting for. And it's a process, but you have to be a part of it. Now, I don't have evidence to show you that if you vote, the flowers are going to bloom brighter. That's not the point. The point is that it is our duty. It is the one thing we can do. You take it, you go with it. And if you can mail it in, that's as easy as it's going to get. Mail it in. If you can just take the morning and go down and, show up at the polling location, that increases your involvement in your society. Just by doing that, you created another asset, another benefit. And it's more hopeful because you've done it. Hopeful to you, if nobody else. I've said this before about comments. You write the comment, it's important to others, but it's also important to you. Now, why not vote? Why vote at all? And to me, there's apathy. You don't know any of these people, or in the majority, even in whatever election it is. I mean, lately it's been razor thin margins, and people just vote according to their parties, and that's not the way to do it. You vote according to character. I've said it before, time and again, to the best understanding you have of people who have and show some character. Are you going to be right in your pick? No. Or not necessarily. You may be, but you don't know that. You're just voting for your hopes. You're voting for your future. And it's understandable that people don't vote because they don't know anything about the referendum. They don't know anything about the person who is, becoming your judge or whatever. I mean, it's just true. You can't argue against that. And the apathy is there. And even if you do vote, well, so what? It doesn't change the minds. Then of course it won't. One vote will not change, but sometimes it does overcome, people have won by one vote. And your vote may be that one vote. But that's not the important thing. The action is the important thing. And if you feel an apathy towards the voting, it's understandable. And, there's a lot of corruption, and the lies, my gosh, it turns people off to hear the constant drone of lies and misrepresentation. And going against what I consider is viable and good thought, good legislation, support of our brethren, support of justice across our society, locally, whatever, the world even. We cannot be isolationists, that's for sure. People want to be, they'll stick their heads in the sand and let the tide go over them. It's understandable, but it's not the best way. So, it's not a criticism if you don't vote, because it's understandable. You don't know the person, how do you know who to vote for? It's your choice, though, using the information that you have, whether it's based on party or whatever it is. You have to take that action to become a better citizen, a better participant in your society, in my view, to make that society more viable, to counteract the influences of the deceitful people, because you're watching. And if information comes out, you will act on that because you're a voter. And if you don't vote, you won't have anything. And there's people that say, well, you don't have anything to say if you didn't vote. That's wrong. You always have something. Your voice counts, whether you voted or not. That doesn't negate your ability to participate in the government and society and question the integrity of those around us. But it's important to understand that there's a pressure not to vote because of the simple facts that I just mentioned. And there are many others too. But I just want to encourage voting. I want to encourage voting. That's the bottom line of this thing. There's reasons why not to vote, but there's more reasons why vote. It's important to us all. It's important to us as individuals. It's important to us as society, locally, state, nationally, worldwide, environmentally. All these things matter, and your effort matters. It matters in your family. It matters in your government. I encourage you to vote. Always think ahead, keep hope alive, go to the good, and by voting you can help that go to the good. You may not choose the right candidate. Who knows? We don't know what the future will bring. But just the act makes it a better, more solid future for you, your children, your families. It's just better overall. I hope you agree, and I hope you think there's some value in this clip. If you like what you hear, subscribe. If you hit the like button, that'd be appreciated. Comment, always comment. And again, it's not for me, it's for anyone. It's for the writer. It's for the person who reads it, and people will read it. So feel free. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, and vote. Always vote, whether you like the people in it or not. Have a good day. Bye for now.